Hello everyone, welcome back to Elegant Initiatives Diaries. As always, I'm Joanna and I'm so glad to be here with you this bright Saturday morning. Thank you all for staying with us. You guys have been amazing. All your likes, all your shares, all your comments, God richly bless you. It gives us enough momentum to move on. God bless you. So today is a very bright Saturday morning, quite different, I know, right? And we are going to have a parent and child special today. So today we are going to talk about how to discipline children, That's from a parent's perspective, okay? And this is a very important topic for a lot of parents who are even watching right now, because especially if you are in some countries where there are lots of restrictions on how you should take care of your child and what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and all of that. So I hope that this video would bless you. I hope this video would help you as a child and as a parent who is watching this video, okay? So like I said, we are going to talk about disciplining a child. One time I was watching a video and then it was about a pastor. A pastor was preaching about disciplining a child, and the pastor said something that I found to be quite profound. He said that training up a child is this way. If a child is growing up and a child is doing something that is not right and you don't take the time to discipline the child, what you're doing is you're creating a monster in the child. So by the time you realize, the child grows old and the child grows up into something that you can't even explain, something you didn't even envisage, right? Yes. So all the pastor was saying then is that if you see any bad habits in your child while your child is growing, you should help the child so that the child will build good morals, okay? Now I want to bring it into like a whole biblical context. I know in the book of Proverbs, right, there are so many verses that admonishes parents to always discipline their children, okay? So I remember Proverbs 22 verse 6, it says that you should train up the child the way he should grow, so that when he grows, he or she would not depart from it, paraphrasing. And then also there's Proverbs 13 verse 24, which is highly debatable. I'm sure if you're a child, especially if you're in some countries right now, if you listen to this right now, you'd be like, what? Did the Bible tell us to do this? Well, that's what's in the Bible. It says that Proverbs 13 verse 24, it says that whoever withholds the rod of discipline from his or her child, paraphrasing, okay, hates his or her child. That's what it is. But a parent who loves his or her child disciplines his or her child, or disciplines their child. I'm sure some of you are like, wow, the rod of discipline, the rod of discipline. Yes, the rod of discipline, is in the Bible, yes. So this topic is very important, okay, because a lot of parents are torn between using the rod of discipline and correcting their children. Some parents think that if they don't use the rod of discipline, their children cannot be corrected the way they should. Some parents also think that it's also very wrong to use the rod of discipline and all of that. Well, I'm not going to tell you to use the rod of discipline or not to use it or not to use it. All I'm just coming to tell you is the bottom line of everything is that a child has to be disciplined. Why? Because a child is continuously growing. A child is continuously picking up good and bad habits at the same time. So the role of a parent in shaping the child is to put the child on the right path. So that's how come discipline comes in, okay? So discipline can take many forms, okay? Discipline could be as simple as talking to a child and telling the child what to do, especially when the child has already done the wrong thing and you want them to do the right thing the next time. You could also discipline really means correcting anyway, right? And putting the right thing in the child, putting the right morals in the child. So you could also correct or discipline a child when you are just talking to them or listening to them or hearing them out, okay? You could also discipline a child or correct a child by setting boundaries or setting rules that are non-negotiable, and you try to be very consistent with them. Okay, when I was growing up, the number of rules that my parents had for me that was discipline in itself. I remember when I was really young, I couldn't go out and come back beyond like say 7 p.m. And that was like more like discipline, because a child has to come back home early, a child has to be at home at the right time. And the moment I broke it, I'll be grounded for a number of weeks. Okay, yes. Of course, now I'm older, so at least a lot of things are a bit more relaxed, because right now my parents trust that I have had good morals and good discipline growing up, so I should be able to make the right choices. And yes, of course, I come back home when I have to. In fact, I come back home every single day when I go out. I avoid going home late. Yes, so that's what discipline does. So I have been trained that I'm not supposed to go home late. Exactly. But sometimes some children can be very stubborn, okay? Like, I mean, some children have to be told one thing about 20 or 30 times before they even listen to you. Exactly. And it gets parents really confused, it gets parents really worried, it gets parents very concerned that even some parents have to take their children in to God in prayer. Okay, well, my advice to every parent who is watching this is that children listen, okay? It just depends on how you talk to them or the way in which you talk to them, okay? So sometimes, in as much as people say that, oh, you have to use the rod of discipline on a child and all of that, some children may build resistance to it that it may not touch them, it may not do anything to them. Some children get used to the rod of discipline that it's like they would even prefer it than to even listen to their parents. That's how bad, that's how hardened some children's hearts can be. But right now, I just want to encourage every parent watching this video that you have to understand your child, especially you have to understand the context in which your child is being brought up. I mean, the society in which your child is being brought up. You also have to understand the needs of the child and how the child was also brought up locally in terms of the home. Okay, sometimes children just need parents to listen to them and speak to them in an honorable manner or in the way that they will listen the most. Some children don't respond to spanking. Okay, how about that? Yes, and of course, in some jurisdictions, some countries, it is not even allowed anyway. So if that's the only way you as a parent knows how to discipline your child, then you might have a problem there. But some children, when you sit them down, they listen. They listen. When they feel that they are being heard, they also listen up. Okay. So basically, for parents, all I just want to say is it's very possible to discipline your child outside of what you traditionally know to be discipline. Nowadays, children are a bit sophisticated, children watch a lot, children read a lot, and all of that. And children discover themselves more even on their own. So some parents also think they know their children, but they may not quite know their children the way their children know themselves and their friends know themselves. So one way to effectively discipline a child is to ensure that you also understand your child, understand where your child is coming from and how your child thinks. That's where you'll be able to touch them at the points where it is very, very necessary and discipline them appropriately or correct them appropriately. So that's to parents, that's my advice to parents. It's very easy to correct a child, but you have to understand your child so that you'll be able to know how to correct them well. And then also, I also like to say that sometimes children also have people they look up to. Children also have friends they also look up to and all of that. So sometimes when parents are trying to correct their children in front of people, okay, it might come out to them as off and it might build some sort of resistance in the children. So we also have to be careful how we correct the children in terms of who is around when we correct them, because nowadays a lot of children are trying to save their faces and put up a good appearance wherever they go. So also, in as much as we are also correcting and disciplining children, we also have to respect them, especially when they are around people who they look up to and people they are very free with. That's where we'll be correcting and disciplining them very well. So that's my parents' bit, my little 2 cents to this, that God wants us to discipline our children. When we are disciplining our children, we must ensure that we are disciplining them in love. In love. Discipline that is done in love works more than discipline that's done with so much harshness, okay? And when, as a parent, you are disciplining your child, you have to understand why they have to do what you're telling them. Nowadays, children want a lot of examples, a lot of reasons. They want to know why they have to do everything they have to do. Yes, I know. You can't blame them, because in these times information is so abundant. You can just go online and get an answer to virtually any question you want, okay? So as you are disciplining them, you have to understand, number one, how they are, how they would like to be disciplined, or how their mentality is, so that discipline would be easy, so that you'll be able to touch them. Also, you have to realize that you have to show respect to them, even though they are children, when you are disciplining them. And also be very careful that you don't disgrace them in front of people they hold highly. Also, we must discipline them in love. Discipline them in love. Discipline them in love. That's very important. And lastly, you must make them understand why they have to do what they are doing. Otherwise, it'll be so difficult for you to even touch their hearts. Now, to children. This is a very interesting part. I mean, children, one thing I want you to understand now is that your parents will not just get up and just correct you if you've not done something wrong. Exactly. And the reason your parents always want to correct you is because they've been where you are before, and they have so many years behind them. They know what you're doing. They know that where you are going is wrong. I mean, in Elegant Initiatives, this quarter, for the most part of this quarter, we'll be studying Proverbs. So far, we've been learning so much about the writer of Proverbs addressing his son, okay, and telling his son to accept his correction. Why? When he accepts his correction, you have direction for his path. He will be able to sleep at night, right? Because when he listens to advice, he will not have to suffer for things at all hours of the day, okay? And then he will have peace within himself. You have joy, and he would continue to stay on the narrow path that leads to God. Yes, I mean, godly wisdom comes from the Bible, okay? It comes from our mentors, but one important place of godly wisdom is also from our parents. Remember that. So always remember that your parents have so many years behind them. Your parents know so much more than you do. They know a lot of things than you. Your parents have been where you are before. So when your parents are advising you and correcting you, you have to take it. You have to take it like your parents love you. And like I said earlier, it's only a parent who loves his or her child that corrects his or her child. That's what it is, okay? And even you as a child, you have a charge to keep. That's why Ephesians 6 verse 1 is there. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother, okay? And we've been saying this so much, but one way to obey your parents is actually to accept their correction. People don't talk about it that way, but that's what it is. I mean, if you accept your parents' correction, okay, why would they come to you? Why would they worry you? Okay, you guys will have like a very wonderful time together at home. That's what it is, exactly. So, children, you just have to realize that the moment you're being corrected, it means that you did something that was not right. Sometimes our parents might be different. They might be from a different generation. They might think in a different way whatsoever. Yeah, I understand that perfectly. But you also have to understand that correction is correction, whether you understand it or not. Your parents are naturally wiser than you are. Well, naturally wiser than you are. You have to accept their correction. It may not make sense now, but probably when you grow up, it will make a bit more sense to you. So right now, all I just want to say is correction is good for you as a child. It will make you grow into a well-respected person in society and not a monster. And correction is one way to obey your parents and honor them. And then to parents as well, like I said, understanding your child is key. correcting them in love is key. Making them understand why they have to do what they have to do, or do the right thing, is also very, very key. And also showing them respect and correcting them well, and not disgracing them when they are in front of others, is also very, very important. So this is the end of our video today. I'm sure you've had a very wonderful time with me. Personally, this is like one of my favorites sessions on Elegant Initiatives Diaries. I wouldn't lie to you. If this has been a blessing to you, if it has helped you in one way or the other, if you think this is worth sharing, okay, kindly forward to as many people as you can. Kindly comment on what your transformation, or how your transformation came by watching this video. Like, comment, do everything that you can to this video to push it forward. So thank you so much once again. I'm so glad to be with you. Take care of yourself, be good, and I pray you have a very blessed week ahead. We love you from Elegant Initiatives. Thank you. God bless you. Bye.